Hey guys, my name is Justin. I'm with Dornick Auto Parts, and I want to teach you how to change your oil on your car. Changing your oil is part of routine maintenance. Most people recommend it every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, depending on the type of oil you use. You might notice that I have gloves on my hands. I don't normally wear gloves when I work on cars. However, this job can get a little bit messy, so I want to have gloves today. Steps for changing your oil are actually pretty easy. All you really have to do is drain the oil, change the filter, refill the oil, and check the other fluids. So, to drain the oil, we're going to get into the car, we're going to do that, but you actually want an oil drain pan. This one I think is about 25 quarts. It's going to do about 3 to 5 car fillings depending on what kind of car you're doing. And then you can actually go to Dornick Auto Parts or any auto parts store that you're near and just recycle the oil. It's clean, it's easy, it's good for our environment. Okay. One of the first things that we do before we get in the car, lift up the hood, do anything else, make sure the car is in park, and then lift up the emergency brake here. We lift up the emergency brake as a safety feature. That way when we're jacking it up, the car doesn't roll back on us. It's just extremely important, keeps you safe, keeps everything lined up. Then we're gonna have a hood. We're gonna take up our hood by lifting right down here, and there's gonna be a lever that we'll just pop that lever, and it pops our hood up front. Let's go up front and get the thing up. Most cars, we actually have to jack it up to get ourselves underneath there, and there's usually a rail running underneath the car door that I like to be able to put my jack underneath and go. And the rail, you can see, will have a couple of notches on it here and here, and we'll just lift it up with our jack. We ready? And personally, I like to just keep going. Let me tighten this sucker up here. I like to keep going to where I'm under there and I'm pretty comfortable. So I lift it up pretty high. I'm a big guy. Alright, so I have the car up about 6 inches or so. Let's get ourselves underneath. Hey guys, so we're underneath the car, and I know there's a lot of stuff going on here, but we know this is our oil pan because up front here is our oil filter. So that means this is our nut that we're going to take out, and it's going to drain the oil. Now I have my oil pan here to the side, and we just take this sucker and break it loose. Sometimes you have to apply a little bit of elbow grease here, but there you go. And again, normally at dealerships and shops, they do things way too tight because they're using air guns and stuff, and that's just not necessary. Now we broke it loose. And what we'll do is we'll slide this sucker over here, and I undo the rest of my hand. Now watch it. If you just got done running the car, this oil's hot and it can burn you. So you might even want to just let it cool down for a little while. So we're just going to undo the nut here, the bolt rather, and it all drains out, and you just give it a few minutes and let it drain, and it's never actually going to stop dripping. So after a few minutes, when it gets real low, I'll just go ahead and put the bolt back in. So the filter is right up here, or our drain plug is right here. And you have to kind of watch it because there's 3 different hoses around here. We don't want to bust any of them off or anything else. But we have our trusty filter wrench. And what you do is you just put it around there and you keep it tight, and you'll just move that sucker loose. And thankfully this one was pretty loose, and we're able to just kind of work our way into it. And now I want you to watch it because sometimes, or every time, oil will actually come out of the oil filter, because that's what happens is oil is actually moving through the oil filter. All the contaminants are getting filtered out of there, and so there's always about a quart of oil in our filters. And we got this thing now where it's hand tight and it's starting to leak a little bit of oil. We'll get our drain pan underneath it and we'll just unscrew it. Look at all that oil coming out. All black. It needs to be changed. I'm just unscrewing it. It's a very fine screws here. and our oil filter is done. It is off. With our new filter, I like to take a little bit of this burnt oil here that we're throwing out, and I put a little bit of oil around it to give it a good seal up here. And then all we do is we just come up in here and screw this sucker on. Okay, so here's our oil plug here. We'll go ahead and unscrew that. I like to put that to the side. I almost always use a funnel. It just makes things easier. Set that here. And then these usually come with this aluminum cap, and you can actually do the whole thing and open it all up. But I like to be able to have a little spout. That way things don't get out of control. And we'll pour it in. And it's just better to go nice and slow. That way you're not getting mess all over your vehicle or anything else. I mean, this whole thing takes probably 15 minutes, so it's not like it's a time-intensive deal. And we'll just give it a few minutes to keep pouring, and we'll let you know when we're done. So finally, to really make sure that our oil is at the right level, you don't want to have it too high or too low. We're going to pull out our dipstick here. First time I pull it out, I always wipe off everything on it. And then, I just go ahead and stick this sucker back in. Pull it out one more time. And see, there's these two notches here for low and high, and if it's anywhere in there or right above, I call it good. Looks like this car is good. It's full. It's ready for another 5,000 miles.